Okay, we're on live.
Good day, everybody. This is Brian, Tarian, and Jam from the Disability Digest. And I thought because it's close to the holiday season, we would get in the festive mode. Jam has her holiday attire on. Well done.
Hi
And
guys.
yeah.
Holidays.
And my lighting is a little different because I'm outdoors. I thought for some of you that don't have the opportunity to see snow, here it is. All right.
Yeah, but
So,
it's too bright.
good deal. So today we're going to cover some end of the year stuff, some items that I have learned about that I felt would benefit individuals that want to do more and get more efficiencies out of your time in 2023 as we kind of wrap this year up and look at next year and what we want to do. A lot of people have expressed an interest in supplementing their income, and to do that you do need to have time. So that's the focus, or what has kind of driven this event. All right. Also, I have a couple questions that I want to address as well, and we're going to take your questions at the end. And it's going to be an interesting event because I cannot see my screen very well, so I'm fumbling around a bit. But the first thing that I wanted to go over with everybody out there is I wanted to address last week's event. We had a comment question that was made that offended some people. And we certainly do not intend to do that. It was not done intentionally. It had to do with really not understanding the limitations as a result of brain health. So first of all, really sorry if we offended anybody. And I am grateful for those of you that brought it up to our attention, because we look to improve here, and it helps me understand, like, in running the Disability Digest in our efforts, what we can better do to with our communication and helping people understand, like, what the boundaries are and the training is. So I thank you for the constructive feedback that we have, and I encourage you to keep the comments coming. It's a privilege for us to have the opportunity to do this work. And again, there was no sorry that you're offended, but it definitely wasn't intentional. So hopefully that will hit the mark with some people. All right. Moving on, two things before I get into the main topic of today is I want to address a question that was submitted by Derek. And it's not, I'm going to address Derek's specific question, but it is a variation of a very common question that is asked, right? And Jim, you're going to put some surveys in, some questions, right? Okay, good. So just monitor the chat. So Derek writes in, he says, I'm receiving Social Security disability, have a rare disease that affects my health in a variety of ways. I'm not going to get into the details. I have to take breaks every 5 minutes. But I feel that I can do DoorDash, but I do not want it to affect my benefits. I definitely cannot work a full-time job because of my oxygen requirements, but I could do DoorDash. And so what is it that I need to do to understand financially so that I do not have an impact on my benefits? So you can take out DoorDash and you can put in any of the other topics that we have, or you may have, to supplement your income. And even if you're not approved, this would still apply. So for earning money, you can definitely earn money and keep your benefits once you're approved. You can earn money once you're going through the approval process. The regulations and the exact details are in the show notes below this video or around this video, so you can check those out. but for Derek's situation with DoorDash, a few things. For this year, you can earn $970, which we're almost done this year, a month, and keep your benefits. It goes to $1,050 for 2023. And the monies that you earn would be after your expenses. So after Derek has any related expenses to DoorDash, he would then reduce those from his earnings. So yes, you can, and we definitely encourage it. Part of this show today at the end, we're going to go through and give you the part of the focus of this show is to give you ways to find extra time so that you can have time to earn some income. All right. Next is a question from Michelle. Another common type question. I was put on an HMO for this year, meaning 2023. And I wasn't aware of that. So I wasn't able to get the care I needed. I won't be able to get the care I needed. And I want to know what my options are. So one of the challenges with the open enrollment period, the October 15th to December 7th, is people make changes. Maybe they're advised, or they don't understand, or they make changes that don't work for them, which is unfortunate. But the good news is that you can change. You can change plans now from one Medicare Advantage plan to another from January 1st to March 31st of this year. So you're not stuck, right? Jim, how are we doing on survey related questions? Any information that would be helpful yet?
I put out where are you at the approval process? 17 votes, 76% are approved.
How many are approved?
76%.
Okay, most are approved. Great.
Yep.
Okay. First topic I want to talk about is the spoons theory. And I've known about the spoons theory for a while. It was actually the claim to fame for it and how it started was from one of our members here at the Disability Digest. But what you see on my screen is an article that we're going to put in the chat when we're done, or maybe Jim can do it now. Encourage you to read it afterwards. But it's a concept that's been very effective in helping people understand how to manage their time. And the spoon theory, in my version of it, goes like this. We all have the same amount of time. And in a healthy, regular world where you're an able-bodied person and your day is not dictated by your condition, the example that I give is you have 5 spoons. That's full energy. And if you think back when you were working and you were working, an 8 or a 10-hour day, that perhaps consumed 2 or maybe 3 spoons, right? And then you had getting ready, sleeping, another spoon, family, another spoon. Those are your 5 spoons, all used up, right? So now roll it forward to where you're at now. You don't have those 3 spoons of energy anymore. You maybe have 1 spoon, maybe you don't have any spoon or a half a spoon. But part of the healing process that's in this article is understanding what you have for a spoon, what spoons you have, because the challenge is we all, even as I run this business, we all have commitments outside of work. I should say we should have commitments outside of work. So our time is limited. And again, with the condition limitations, it's different. But coming to terms with the fact that you might have 1 spoon or 2 spoons now, and understanding what to do with those spoons will help you not expect more than you can possibly deliver out of yourself, right? What do you think, Jim? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So part of the frustration, disappointment, stress, depression, anxiety is like, oh shit, I just can't do what I used to be able to do. So I'm in hopes that understanding this, using it, putting it into your daily life, if you haven't already, will be the first step in helping you. So if you think about it from going back to my point and what initiated this topic today was a lot of people want to work, or a lot of people want to volunteer, or a lot of people just want to, use their time more efficiently or feel better, is where I feel that fits into it. Okay. The next piece of really brilliant information that I want to share with you is an interview that Ed Mylett did with Rob Dyrdek. And this is free. It's on Spotify. You can get Spotify, download it, and there's a commercial version with commercials that they don't charge you for. Maybe you already have it. And you can listen to this, and we'll put this link in here. But what really fascinated me about this work is how Rob breaks down different steps that you can do. And maybe you already know of these, but will help you or remind you, if you do already know about them, of first of all, putting a value on your time. Some of the things that I've heard that people that are approved have experienced is that people presume that they've got all kinds of time and they can take care of grandchildren, they can do errands, they can just do different things. And not saying no to that puts you in a situation where you're using up spoons, and maybe it's something that you want to use your spoon for, maybe it's not. So in this interview, you'll understand the value of your time, understand what you're spending your time on. And I am going through the same exercise, like, what do I spend my time on here, like, to help you in this business? Like, there's things that I spend time on that I shouldn't be. And then so you can understand where it is, and then you can spot where there are areas of improvement, and things that you can do in your daily life. Like, if I evaluate my time and I see that I'm spending 15% of my time on meetings that are more than 20 minutes long and they only need to be 10 minutes long, I can pick up a big lift, right? So if you think about it, maybe in your situation or other situations, you have errands that you need to do outside of the house, and you might have 3 errands on one day and 2 errands on another day. And getting up and out of the house for a lot of people consumes some time, effort, and energy. Can you consolidate those? Are there doctor's appointments that are absolutely positively necessary? Good, keep them. If there's others that can be spread out or pushed out or consolidated, or see doctors in the same building, would that save you? I think one of the biggest things in working with members here that I've encouraged them to think about is, when you approach getting an interest in getting a job or working, is going to a job is one thing, but working in the time that it takes you to get up, get ready, go somewhere, work, come back home, is one thing. And if you only can work 2 to 3 hours a day, which is pretty common for people, and it's taking you a half hour to get there and a half hour back, well, you're using up part of your time or your spoon for the commute. Would it be better for you to stay at home and work? Find something that's easier for you to do. Maybe you're not going to make as much money, but you can do it more, you can do it longer, and the chances of success or higher, right? So Jim, you went through kind of a similar thing where you were working outside of your home and then you pivoted and now you're working in your home, saved the travel time, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So encourage you to take a look at the Ed and Rob and Ed Mylett is the #1 podcast in the world right now in this area of like interviewing, different people, famous people that you can learn from. So hopefully you find value in that.
Yeah, I would like to add one of the good things that I like doing freelancing, working at home is now I have more time for my family.
Cool. Yeah. And that was one of the original reasons why you did this.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The last thing, and this isn't everything I learned in 2022, but the last thing that I want to share with you is called Limitless. It's Jim Quick, and he is a brain coach. And you can go to limitlessbook.com and also /limitlessbook.com/resources are 2 links that we'll put in there. But before I should have told you about what he does before I share the links, but he is an efficiency coach when it comes to learning and retaining. So what I have learned from him is, let's say, for example, if you're going to do something for work or in general life, or you're reading or you're helping your grandkids with reviewing information, if you're reading at 200 words a minute, within 10 hours, he can get you to 325 words a minute. So his focus is in teaching you how to read, 1, faster, and 2, retain. And you can learn this. You can get his book for like $6. And he's got online support groups that are free, Facebook groups where you can get involved. You can get engaged with people that are going through the same process to do that. There's a ton more that you'll learn from him, but those are the big efficiency bumps that I see that people can gain from taking advantage of the quick brain resources. So he's one of those guys that can go into a room, and if there's 200 people in there, he can remember all their names and walk away, which that's definitely not me. But the reading process, I've done the Evelyn Wood program probably like 9 or 10 years ago, and I found his process a nice, refreshing, different approach. So those are some resources I hope you find of value for helping you for 2023. And yeah, so Jim, what's it looking like for questions that we have? But first, before I forget, should I put the links in the chat, or is that something that you could do? You did. Okay.
Already.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we have a few questions here, but I have a question for you. So this is about what you have discussed for the podcast that you have mentioned earlier. So what are the examples where one can actually save time? Do you have tips for an effective time management?
Right. Yeah, I mean, a few of them I mentioned. One of them that I've done is like, I used to have different errands that I would do, and I consolidated them into one day. And then, so I only have to leave the house for that one period of time. And it's something that, people do, and they're, everybody's subject to getting out and doing things. I think the biggest thing that I've heard from people for in the doctor's appointment, I used grocery shopping. I know people now get a lot of their food delivered. It doesn't cost, in some areas, it doesn't cost any extra, but that can definitely save you some time. Medications, you can have those delivered to you. So if you're making trips outside of the house, so just, I think the thing is, it's going to be different, Jam, for everybody. But if you look at the first step in the interview is assessing it, really understanding where you're spending your time. And then start chunking it down. Say, hey, do I really need to do that? Is that important? Is it worth the energy to go out and do that?
Yeah. Prioritizing the things you need to do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. So, all right. Ready to get on to some questions?
Yes. First one is from Rogelio. My primary doctor and my psychiatrist and my psychologist filled out a RFC form.
Good.
Each of them filled it out, and I sent it to Social Security Disability. Do you think it would help me? Thank you.
Yeah, it should. I mean, it depends how they filled it out. Hopefully they filled it out accurately. But here's the thing: was there 3 doctors in that situation, Jam, that filled it out?
2
Yeah.
psychologist and psychiatrist.
Okay.
And, primary doctors.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing to do is to look at the section in there where it gives their opinion on how many days a month you would not be able to work. That's that's the key. And sometimes they fill those out because they don't know you very well, or you think they know you, or vice versa. And they might say, well, hey, you know what? One of those doctors could say, well, probably would miss a day or 2 a month, which is not going to be helpful for you. But if the other 2 said, yeah, wouldn't be able to work, going to miss more than 10 days a month, then it'll balance out. So that's the key thing to look at if you want to just dial right in on it, in my experience.
This one's from Chloe. Would day trading be a concern for someone getting benefits?
I would stay within the confines of like the time commitment, right? That they're looking for. You understand that, if you're over 20 hours a week day trading, I don't know how they would track it if you're doing it from home, but still, that is the regulation. So, yeah.
Okay, this was from Susie. Hi, I'm completely disabled. I have a chronic back disease and fibromyalgia since I was 18 years old, and I am diabetic type 2. I have heart problems. I have a chronic back.
No
question there.
All right. Thanks for joining. There'll be fine, information, tips like we've shared today that I'm in hopes will help you out.
Yeah. This one's from Anthony. I have been getting disability for like 13 years and paying for my Medicare. Is there any way to get them money back? An old timer said he or someone he knows got some sort of back pay. Is it possible?
To get your Medicare money back? Not that I know of. Your Medicare Part B premium.
Maybe he's talking about the buyback.
He could be talking about the buyback, which was the second part of it. But the Medicare Part B premium, if your check is over $1,500 a month or $2,500 as a couple, then you would, you're going to be subject to paying that. But like Jam mentioned, do you want to explain the buyback concept, Jam? Maybe that's what they're looking for. So there are plans in competitive areas like Florida, Texas, where if you enroll in them, they will pay part of your Part B premium. Might be $100, $120 a month. Florida, there's some that pay the full amount. So if that's what you're talking about, then that's definitely something that you could pursue. You could request a benefit review here at the Disability Digest. There's no charge for it. It's part of your no charge membership. And we can find out what you're on now and see if it would be a fit for you. The thing is, if you might have, the reason why it might not work for you is you might have to change into a different doctor network, and your doctors might not be covered. That's one of the common challenges. Yeah.
Was from Jiga. Can a person flip or resell cell phones and other electronics on eBay to earn extra cash without getting kicked off SSDI?
Yeah, just like I covered with Derek at the top, the regulations for earning money and keeping your benefits are below or around this video. For sure, that would be a great thing to do. It's flexible, as far as I understand it would be. So yeah, just keep your earnings within the limit, which is 1050 for 2023 a month. Yep.
This one's from Antonia. My SSI being closed in January 31st next year, applied for reconsideration. My comp case is closed, waiting for report from doctor. Will the report help with SSI appeal?
What's your understanding of the report, Jam? Like the work comp report?
Doctor's report.
Yeah, it depends what's in the doctor's report, I guess. I mean, it's difficult to say based on the information that we have. If you're not a member here, one of the things I would encourage you to do is join us as a member, go through and understand. Well,
SSI.
for
Sorry,
SSI,
cut
it
you
is
off.
okay. And follow the videos that we have to help you understand. Like the qualifications for SSI medically are the same, and what you need to prove. And you know what I'm wondering though, Jam, is it communicated that it was SSI, but may mean SSDI because a work comp case would mean that there's recent work. So, yeah.
Okay, this one's from Jiga. Can you have a resale business under a LLC that grosses $3K a month? Pay yourself $900 a month and leave the $2,600 surplus in LLC bank account to buy more stuff and not get kicked off SSDI.
Right. Yes, that's the purpose of a LLC strategy. So this is a beautiful question and a good problem to have. Your earnings are going to be net after your expenses. So if you're buying goods, selling goods, it's going to be what you net after your expenses at the end of the year, right? On average. So you can do that. The other thing you could do with a corporation is you can have other people that you can hire or sub out some work. Just like what we've talked about, perhaps there's tasks associated with earning money that, you can hire somebody to do and still, draw a paycheck and grow that little mini business out. So for sure.
I'm waiting to be assigned to a legal aid lawyer.
Okay.
No question there. Okay.
I do have a comment for the legal aid person interest. Might be an excellent solution for you and you don't have to pay for it. But typically it's been a get what you pay for. This would be my encouragement. If you haven't done so already, join us as a member. Going through the approval process, you have access to our disability approval course. It teaches you exactly what to do, what not to do. It's courses, segments, interviews with experts. And that will help you understand what the legal aid lawyer should be doing to help you get approved. Where people have made massive mistakes is just hiring a lawyer and not knowing what needs to be done. And so then, your case is not getting the attention. I strongly suggest that. Yeah. The other thing you could do there, we also have the option where you could speak to a different representative. about your case. So you could do a comparison, and you could find out what your free legal aid person's going to do, what somebody else might do to help you get approved. And so you can work that information back and forth.
This one's from Theodore. When getting a W-2, is the 1050 gross or net?
Net after expenses. So even if you're employee, some employees have work-related expenses that you can write down. I've done other media pieces on this, so it would be after your expenses.
Right. This one from Rick. I'm approved for disability. Is there ever a danger of losing my benefits if I work from home and stay under 1050 per month?
Not if you stay within the regulations. That's not what is harmful for your benefits. But everybody is subject to a review until your full retirement age. So you just need to be aware of what you need to do to keep your benefits. And that's what we teach you how to do here, so that you continue to stay in treatment, how to communicate to your doctors, what to do when you get the forms for your continuing disability review. Good questions today, Jam, huh?
Yeah.
Guys are keeping me out in the cold.
Anyway, you get something there. Are you drinking coffee or
This
tea?
is actually hot water so that I can keep my hands warm. Yeah.
Okay. This one's from Rick.
No booze.
I thought it was eggnog, but booze. This one's from Rick. I was approved for SSDI almost exactly a year ago, subject to review in a year. What should I expect from this when it comes, and how should I be preparing for it? I am still under pain management car.
Right. So we have all of those questions answered for you. It's not a 1 or 2 sentence reply. As a member at the Disability Digest, we have a How to Survive Your Continuing Disability Review course. It was an interview with attorney James Brown, who's done this work for 40 years. And he goes through 10 segments. So how to prepare, what to do when you get the forms, all of that is in there, and there's no charge for it. So if you're already a member, just email support@the-disability digest and ask for it. Or if you're going to be joining us as a member, just put it in your comments. I would like to get the continuing disability review course, and we'll get that to answer all your questions and get you prepared.
One's from Kathleen Brown. If you go back to work part-time, how long can you work and still keep your benefits on SSDI following regulation of under 1050?
Every month. That's why I say keep it under that amount. It's actually would be better if you're not like right up at 1049 every month. But you can do that every month. Here's why I and others that know this area have this position. If you go over the allowed amount, let's say you earn $1,051 a month, then you trigger what's called a trial work month, meaning that you have earned enough money that Social Security considers that you are trying to work, like legitimately over the gainful amount. So you only have 9 of those that you can use within 5 years. So in my take, just to stay on the safe side and fly below the radar, is that's the amount, stay below it every month so you don't trigger any of those, which can, like raise a flag, if you will.
From Robert, does collecting SSDI affect your Social Security retirement amount if you go back to work before your full retirement age? Will I receive a LET or SSDI retirement because I collected SSDI?
Great question. No, here's the Social Security checks. There's 3 flavors. Age 62, there's that check amount. I'll use example. Let's say your age 62 check amount is $1,000 for sake of example. And your full retirement check is around $1,500. Well, your disability check is probably close to $1,500, maybe 1,480. So that check that you have, your disability check, you have that for the rest of your life, unless you do something to get kicked off benefits. So it doesn't change. When you reach full retirement age, the only thing that happens is your status changes from full retirement. From disabled to full retirement, but your check amount remains the same.
This one's from Jiga. What do you know about the benefit of using the services of Premium Assist under America? They keep calling me.
I didn't get that. It broke up a little bit. If you would repeat, please.
Okay. What do you know about the benefit of using the services of Premium Assist under Amerigroup?
Not familiar with them. Sorry. No,
This one's
don't know.
Kelly Green, I was in a blind school and denied the first time I applied. Do you know anyone who has been approved the first time they applied?
Yeah, 47% of the people that we work with directly get approved. So yeah, if it's done right. And if your vision, 2200 cannot be corrected to that, it's interesting. Maybe doctors didn't report. I don't know, but if you would like us, to take a look at it, we'd be glad to do so.
Okay. This one's from Scott. I have heard we SSI was supposed to get an extra check this month and next. True? What's the difference between SSI and SSDI?
SSI is, well, I'll cover SSDI first. SSDI is a check amount that is based on your work history. So if you've worked generally as more than 50% of the last 10 years and paid taxes, you would have paid enough into the disability system to get a check. Average check here is $1,350 a month. Now, if you didn't work 50% or more of the last 10 years, or maybe you worked and you didn't pay your taxes, then you wouldn't qualify for that check. Then the other program is SSI or welfare or social assistance, has a bunch of different names. And that's need-based, and it's based on your medical criteria is the same. But it's based on your need, like what are your assets that you have. So that's the difference between the two.
Will you explain the flex card for utilities as well as the healthy and grocery benefits going in one card now?
I heard part of that. Food card? Did I hear food card?
Yeah, will you explain flex card, utilities, utilities, as well as healthy and grocery benefits?
Right.
Going to
Right. Okay. We just worked with Penny in the Fordham, New York area. And in her area, there's a plan from, is it Humana, Jan?
Yeah,
so.
Humana.
It was from Humana that had $200 a month was part of the benefit, this Medicare Advantage plan that you could use. It's loaded to a debit card. And you can use those monies for food, utilities, even pet care. That you could use it for pet care, this one. So pretty versatile. And these flex cards, I would say within the last 2 years have really become, I wouldn't say they're common. They're not in every area, and not every area has $200 a month. But they're definitely popular. I mean, so, and the plan has lots of other great benefits on it as well. So it's not like it's the only benefit that you have. So part of Medicare Advantage plan, and this is people that are dual eligible. It's very common that you can get those if you're dual eligible, meaning that you are Medicare and Medicaid eligible, right? So if you want to learn more about it, of course, follow the information that we have. As a member, you can request a benefit review. And if you are, depending on your status, you can still change this time of year. So something you can check out till March 31st for most. 2 more questions, Jim. My toes are getting cold.
Okay. All right. If you go back to work part-time, how long can you work and still keep your benefits?
Yeah, we had addressed. Yeah, we had addressed that one. As long as you stay below the allowed amount, you can work every month and do that. One thing I do want to add to that is when you reach full retirement age, the limits for income, there aren't any, and nor are you subject to a review.
All right. Last one, Theodore. I'm sorry, but I need.
Your audio froze, Jim. I heard something like you need. I'm just waiting, folks, for Jim's audio to get back up so we can finish the question. But if she does come back in, then I'll definitely address it. But I do want to say this because we are going to wrap up based on the time here. Is I'm grateful for all of you folks coming out and the opportunity to serve you and answer your questions. I hope you find value in this. If you do, there's a replay. You can share the link associated with this and others can listen to it. We'd certainly appreciate that. If you're new here, we haven't heard from you in a while, we'd love to have you update us as a member. It's the best way that we can help you because you can definitely listen to all the videos. There's over 400 on the YouTube channel. But for us to really zero in on helping you with your individual needs, like the individual that had the question about work and the other one that had the question about the Flex card. If we know that when you join us, we can get you the right information to help you out. So there'll be a link around this video to the disabilitydigest.com if Jim has not already put one in. So in closing, I wish everybody a very safe, happy holiday season. And this will be our last event for the year. We will be back on the 4th of January with Dr. Glenn Livingston will be our guest speaker who has helped over 1 million people now throughout the US with adjusting their habits. So I'm super excited to do that. So once again, everybody, thank you very much. Happy holidays to you. Until the next time, be well. Thanks.